There are compliments that sound normal, and then there are compliments that carry a different weight because they come from someone who knows exactly what it means to carry a national team on his shoulders. That is what happened with Harry Kane after Argentina's victory over Algeria. England's captain not only spoke about Lionel Messi with admiration, but also with a very special kind of identification. Because Kane does not look at Messi like just another fan. He looks at him as a footballer, as a goal scorer, as a leader, and above all, as the captain of a national team that also lives under enormous pressure. And that is why his words drew so much attention. Welcome to Football Radar. Today we are going to talk about Harry Kane and the comments he made about Messi in the last few hours. After Argentina's win, Messi once again found himself at the center of the spotlight. Not only because of his level, or because of what he did with the ball, but because of everything he continues to generate whenever he puts on the Argentina shirt. Every touch from him creates something. Every movement changes the atmosphere of the match. And every time he appears, he seems to remind the world that he still has something more to say. Harry Kane, when analyzing what happened, would have highlighted exactly that. Messi's ability to remain decisive, but also to transmit something much deeper to his teammates. For Kane, the most impressive thing is not only that Messi plays well. What is truly special is that the entire Argentine team seems to grow around him, and that, for a captain, has enormous value. Kane knows perfectly well what it means to be the player everyone looks to. In England, for years, he has been one of the great references. He has carried the responsibility of scoring goals, the expectations of the fans, the pressure of major tournaments, and that constant feeling that if the team needs an answer, many eyes will go directly to him. That is why, when he talks about Messi, he does not do it from a distance. He does it from experience. In his words, Messi represents something every captain would like to achieve, that absolute connection with his national team. That feeling that he does not only lead on the field, but emotionally as well. Argentina does not simply play with Messi. Argentina plays believing in Messi. And that difference, even if it may seem small, changes everything. Kane would have pointed out that what Messi has with Argentina is an example of leadership that is very difficult to explain. It is not leadership based on shouting, exaggerated gestures, or imposing himself all the time. Messi leads in a different way. He leads by asking for the ball when the team needs him. He leads by making decisions in the important moments. He leads by making his teammates feel that there is always a possible play. And that is something Kane deeply admires, because England is also searching for that. A national team with talent, with important players, with ambition, but also with a strong identity. And Kane, as captain, knows that talent alone is not enough. In major tournaments, you need character, you need calm, you need a figure capable of emotionally holding the group together when the match gets complicated. That is what Messi gives Argentina. After the victory against Algeria, that feeling appeared once again. Argentina won, but the most important thing was the image of a team that continues to compete with confidence. A team that knows when to speed up, when to slow down, when to wait, and when to strike. And in the middle of all that, Messi appears like a compass. For Kane, that is one of the Argentines' greatest virtues. He does not need to chase every ball or be involved in every play to be the most influential footballer on the pitch. Sometimes it is enough for him to appear at exactly the right moment, to receive between the lines, to lift his head, to make a pass that nobody had seen, to shoot when the goalkeeper thinks he still has time. That kind of intelligence is what separates good players from historic footballers. And Kane, who is also an elite striker, understands how difficult it is to stay relevant when everyone expects you to be decisive. He knows what it means for the opponent to prepare the match thinking about you. He knows what it means for every mistake to be analyzed, every missed chance to be criticized, and every important match to feel like a personal exam. That is why his praise for Messi has so much value, because it does not come from exaggeration, but from professional respect. Kane would have recognized that he would like to generate something similar in England, not because he wants to compare himself to Messi, or because he is trying to copy his story. They are different paths, different careers, and different contexts. But as captain, he does feel identified with that responsibility of representing an entire country. And in that sense, Messi is a reference. For many years, Messi carried immense pressure in Argentina. He was expected to win. He was expected to lead. He was expected to be decisive every single time. Even when he was the best player in the world, it seemed like nothing was enough if he did not win a title with his national team. And over time, that story changed completely. Today, Messi is not only admired by Argentines, he is loved, he is celebrated, he is supported, and that is something Kane watches closely. Because every captain dreams of building that kind of relationship with his people. A relationship in which the fans do not only expect results, but also understand the effort, the commitment, and the journey. Kane knows that England has a history loaded with expectation, hope, and also frustration. Every major tournament arrives with the same question: will this be the time? That is why, when he sees what Messi generates in Argentina, Kane cannot help but feel admiration. Not only because of the titles or the records, but because of the way he managed to turn pressure into unity. That is perhaps the greatest thing about Messi at this stage. He no longer plays only to prove himself. He plays to enjoy, to compete, and to keep feeding a connection that feels unique. And even so, with everything won, with everything achieved, he continues to take on responsibility as if he still had unfinished business. That is the mentality Kane emphasized most strongly. For the English captain, watching Messi celebrate a new victory with Argentina is watching a footballer who still feels the shirt in a special way. There is no indifference. There is no comfort. There are no signs of someone living off the past. Messi continues to compete as if every match carried enormous weight. And that, for any professional, is admirable. Kane would also have spoken about the effect Messi has on his teammates. Because when a player like that is on the field, the team changes. The midfielders dare to look for him. The forwards attack spaces with more confidence. The defenders feel that every effort can be worth it, because up front, there is someone capable of solving a play in 1 second. That cannot be trained easily. That is built over years, through respect and a career that convinces everyone. And Argentina seems to understand that very clearly. Its players do not only support Messi, they play with a special faith in him. And Messi at the same time plays with absolute confidence in his teammates. That connection is what makes the Argentine national team so dangerous. Kane from the outside understands it. And he also understands that facing a team like that is not easy at all. That is why, when he was asked about the possibility of crossing paths with Messi in Argentina, Kane would have responded with a mix of ambition and humor. As a competitor, of course, he would love to face the best. England against Argentina, with Messi on one side and Kane on the other, would be a massive match. One of those nights when the whole world stops to watch. But at the same time, Kane would have left a phrase with a smile: "If we can avoid running into Argentina, all the better." And the joke says a lot. It is not fear in the simple sense of the word. Kane trusts England. He knows his national team has talent, hierarchy, and the arguments to compete against anyone. But he also knows that facing Argentina with Messi involves a different kind of risk. Because against Messi, you can do almost everything right and still suffer. You can close down spaces for most of the match, you can defend with order, you can reduce his influence, you can control the rhythm. But if you give him just one opportunity, if you allow him 1 second, if you let him receive the ball in a dangerous area, he can change everything. That is what makes Messi so uncomfortable for any opponent. And Kane recognizes it honestly. He would love to experience that challenge, because great players want to play the big matches. But if England's path can avoid Argentina for part of the tournament, that would not be bad news either. It is a joke, yes, but a joke loaded with respect. Because Argentina is not only a champion national team, it is a team that believes. And when a team believes that way, when it has a figure like Messi and a group that supports him, it becomes even harder to face. Kane would have summed up his admiration in one very clear idea. Messi does not only improve Argentina from a footballing standpoint, he also lifts it emotionally. And that is one of the greatest aspirations of any captain. For Kane, the challenge with England is exactly that. Not only scoring goals, not only competing, not only chasing titles, but helping build a national team that transmits confidence, that connects with its people, and that can hold itself together in the most difficult moments. And on that path, Messi appears as an inspiring mirror. Not because everyone can be Messi, that is impossible, but because his story shows that leadership is also built with patience, resilience, and love for the shirt. Messi went through criticism, defeats, frustrations, and moments of enormous pressure. But he kept going. And today, he receives recognition not only from his country, but also from rivals of the highest level, like Harry Kane. That is why his words had such an impact, because they were compliments from captain to captain, from goal scorer to goal scorer, from a leader who is still trying to write the greatest chapter of his story with England to another who has already left an unforgettable mark with Argentina. The victory against Algeria was one more win for Argentina, but it was also another example of what Messi continues to provoke in world soccer: admiration, respect, hope, and, why not, a little concern among opponents. Kane made it clear with elegance and humor. It would be an honor to face Messi. It would be a huge match. But if England can avoid crossing paths with Argentina, all the better. Because one thing is wanting to compete against the best, and something very different is having Lionel Messi in front of you when he is still playing as if he were preparing another unforgettable night.